Well, I'm sure you'd like to think there's no issues with your home, that you have disclosed everything that you know of when it comes down to the inspection for a buyer. However, what we have found is there are 7 deal killers that we've seen come up over the years that a seller could easily remedy prior to selling their home, and then everything could go smooth. And I'm not talking about easy little things like a window's stuck and I can't open it, or perhaps there's a cracked window, or maybe there's some insulation that needs to be added. I'm talking about big things you might be aware of, but then you may not. So we're gonna go through those 7 things that you could be on the lookout for if you're selling your house and are about to have a home inspection. The first common home inspection item we see come up quite a bit is a run-down roof. So if you have asphalt shingles, you've had them for 15 years or so, they are probably approaching near the end of their life. What I would suggest you do, just so this does not become a deal killer later, is have a roof inspector come over and just take a look around. Make sure you replace any damaged shingles. Perhaps there's some easy caulking that needs to be done so your roof is in great shape. It doesn't mean you need to completely replace the roof, but just to have it in good standing and in good order just shows you cared about the house, and that next buyer isn't going to have to take on the big expense of a roof replacement. Now, where we are in Atlanta, we've had many homes that have had a Atlas Chalet shingle. If you happen to have this, I would consider having your insurance company come out and take a look at it and see if it might be possible to replace it prior to listing your house. This has definitely become a deal killer for many of our clients. That particular shingle has been in a class action lawsuit. It does not perform well. It basically kind of crumbles up. So if you have it, again, I would highly advise you take a look at that with your insurance company. A second item we see come up quite often in inspections are the HVAC systems. Now, to replace these, they can be between $5,000 to $7,000 per system. If you've got 3 levels in your home, you may have 3 systems. If they're around 15 years or so, similar to the roof age, you probably want to make sure that they are inspected, serviced, in good working order. If you can even get a letter from the company that you have come out to look at them saying they are in good order, that is great. HVAC system, you want to make sure is in good working order. You may even consider getting a home warranty that covers that and then can be transferred to the next buyer if your systems are older or having some issues. A third issue that can be a huge problem is faulty foundation, and you want to get out ahead of this. So it could be something you notice where doors aren't quite sticking the way they used to. There's some framing off, if you will, inside the house. Perhaps you see some cracking on the outside of the house. And I would say you'd want to get that tended to right away. And we've got some great professionals that can come evaluate and help you get out in front of that. That is definitely something that buyers do not want to take on no matter what the market is, because it can be so costly, and just the fear of the unknown can be a lot for someone. So to get out in front of it, get the right companies to help you, make sure the house is in good standing is really, really important. A fourth item is having a simple pest inspection. You would be so surprised how many pest intrusions we have seen this last couple of years, even in our climate in Atlanta. On some of those cold days, I feel like where are the flying squirrels coming from? Where are some of these mice and other rodent issues happening? And it's all happening in the attic. There's simple ways to be able to find out if you have a problem. The easiest, of course, is just have a pest inspector come through and just evaluate it. You can look up into your attic easy as well, just to kind of do a quick glance, see if there's any rodent droppings. That's obviously a clear clue. You can also see what's called tunneling, and you can look for that. Now, if you do have a problem, and a lot of us do, there is some sealing that can be done around the exterior of the home. It usually costs between $2,000 and $3,000, I would say, depending on who you use. And then a lot of times, if you've got an active problem, they will set up traps, and it takes a little bit of time to make sure that you are rodent free. A fifth item would be drainage problems that will come up in an inspection as well. Perhaps there's signs of water getting into your basement area or onto your slab of your house. If that happens, I would definitely call in the experts. From the interior, I would get a waterproofing system in, waterproofing company in. We've got a couple great ones in the area that we've used. And from the exterior, you want to look at the topsoil. You want to make sure that that things are directed away from the home. Another item that could come up in an inspection is the presence of mold. That can definitely be a deal killer, and something that you don't want to live with in your own home either. So something that you can be on top of and aware of is the smell of it. If you can smell mold, if you have musty areas in your home, look for it. get a company in there to take care of it. If you've got, we've had mold come up in one house I know, and it's not because they had mold in their home, but they had it on their things. So they had an old cardboard box that had gotten wet in their storage unit, and that had given off the smell of mold, and the levels of mold when it was tested was very high, and it's all because of that dang wet cardboard box that was in their basement. So being aware of it, maybe having a dehumidifier, whatever you need to do, but staying on top of that can be very, very important, because it's another item that we've seen be a deal killer with buyers, and something that you can simply, remediate on your own. But if it becomes more serious, it can be very costly, to remediate. But we do have those companies at our disposal if you are in that situation and you need a little bit more help than just removing a cardboard box. And last but not least, an inspector is going to look for just poorly maintained items in your house. So cosmetic things like maybe peeling paint or caulk that could be a little bit better. Perhaps it's in the, in the bathrooms around the tub. It could just signal that a homeowner just didn't simply care or take care of their house. So those will be pointed out on an inspection, and are some really easy things to, for a homeowner to do on their own prior to listing their house. It's also easy for a buyer to do too, right? But it's just when there's a lot of those items, they can add up. They can become overwhelming for a buyer, and you don't want that to happen. So you want to take care of your house, because it's going to make the sell of your house, what you get for your house, and all those things in between much easier on you. So if you have questions about home inspections or maintaining your home, perhaps you lived in your home for a really long time and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I can't imagine what I need to do to my house. We would love to meet with you. We have a great inspector that could also do a pre-inspection for you if it's something that you find that you just want to be upfront with and you want to know what you're dealing with ahead of time. Thanks so much. And as always, if you or someone you care about is thinking about a move, think about our team. We'd love to help you out.